And it's good. It's showtime, everyone. What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Clubhouse. It is a face, someone that you're very, very familiar with by now, the Crooked Commish, here to talk some fantasy football with y'all. But as you all know, I'm not by myself. My boy, the mouse from the Bay, will be joining me in a little bit here as well, and we're going to break down some of these games. And of course, we will have the Commish's highlights as well later on in the show. So thanks for sticking with us. I know last week we were on a bit of a hiatus. It was my birthday weekend last week and enjoyed myself a little too much. So wasn't able to do the show. So we will try and catch up as best we can. And like I said, let us know in the chat. Did you win your game already? Are you relying on someone like CD Lamb tonight or Nico Collins or maybe Joe Mixon tonight to score you enough points to get you a W? Because playoffs is right around the corner.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Oh, yeah. I hope we can win a game too. But, yeah, we're talking about playoffs because, like I said, it's only about 4 weeks away. In some leagues, maybe 3 weeks away. So depending on how your league's set up, some championship games go all the way to week 18. So let us know in the chat. What is your record looking like? Is the injury bug hitting you at all? Sorry. She wants to be on camera here. This is my girl Chocolate here. But anyways, drop a like. Drop a comment. Let us know who you need, what you need. If the injury bug is hitting you guys, don't worry. Mouth and I are here to help you guys out. Go through that injury list and suggest some guys on who to get. So let's get it going, guys. And we're back just like that. So everyone that's here, please hit that thumbs up. Thank you so much for showing up tonight and joining us here. I know we have the Monday night game going on right now that just kicked off. So we're kind of dealing with that competition, but you can have them on the main TV. You can have us on your little TV or your iPod or something like that, or your phone. A lot of different ways to get to us. So no excuses. But anyways, if you're here, please hit that thumbs up button. Please subscribe to the show. And please drop a comment. Like I said, we love to know how you're doing. Are you winning? Are you losing? Do you need this game tonight to just keep your playoff hopes alive? If so, let us know what kind of help you need. And we'll be more than happy to help you out. So before I get further into it, let me go ahead and get my co-host in here. Like I said, I have the mouth from the Bay, the loudest mouth in fantasy football. Here he is.
What up? What up? What up? How you doing, man?
Pretty good.
How you doing? How you doing? Yeah, I'm already secure with my victories for this week, But things could have been better.
Well,
for my
go ahead.
Yeah, there you go.
Dude, how many points did he get you? Because I think he scored all of Pittsburgh's points, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right?
Yeah, like 20-something points. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he had 18 for sure. So, I mean,
yeah.
That's always great when your kicker gives you 20 plus points. Yeah, when your kicker gives you 20 plus points, yeah, that's recipe for success. So
jazz it up a little. We'll try to do that for sure. So
okay,
cheers to that. So
yeah, well, fuck. Here you go.
Yeah, I won in one of my leagues so far, and the league that I needed it the most because I'm at the bottom there, just on the outside, barely looking in. I'm creeping there in the window, kind of peeping on in. So if I can
I
win
love it.
that league
I gotta
and
lie.
have a little
Yeah,
help,
I love it. I love it. I love it. I need you to lose so I can slide back in because I'm one of those on the outside in too. So
yeah,
that shit.
you are. I see you behind me, snipping at my heels, and
You
but
know, I was like, I'm right there. I need one of you fuckers to mess up. It's like I can sneak into the A spot and cause some fucking havoc. Because
or
what I
maybe
did like on
move.
the other one,
Mm-hmm.
what I like is you and Chili fucked it up in that the other one. So I'm loving that. You know, bring you guys in, a little bit because I I don't know where Jay in the cage is at tonight, but you just let him know. Fuck you too, homeboy. Drop fucking 200 on your ass tonight.
Well, yeah, in the other league, the two top teams there look like they're going to be taking a loss here this week, unless Tank Dell does something crazy, and the Houston's defense does something crazy as well. Maybe I have a chance there, but if nothing else, like I said, hold on, we got another comment coming in. 7-game win streak at 4-7, very nice. So that means
Whoa,
what you started
shit.
0-4.
From the brink of
Yeah.
hell. That's fucking that is pretty good. I can't lie. No one likes to start that bad and find your way like the middle of the pack. That's pretty good. Right, these at the top.
See what happens when you listen to the show. I know I recognize you, Manuel. You've been tuning in for a while, so hopefully our advice helped you get to that 7-4 record. But if not, I'm still going to take that credit anyways. So, but yeah, Boswell did have a couple of 50-yarders, so that's probably why he got 25 against me. So, hate to see that.
Good. Just saying. Hey, anytime you go O2 barbecue in a weekend, it's a good weekend for me, especially when I win both the weekends.
Yeah, I figured you say that. I figured so. That's why we do the show separately, in different houses. We can't do it together underneath the same roof because, like, the shit talking just gets too much. I mean,
Well, I mean, it will start as soon as you walk in the door. So, I mean, that's just the way it is.
yeah. Dealing with your ass, yes, that is true. That is very true. So, but anyways, let's go ahead and get into the injuries. And well, not gonna.
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't feel like talking about that game right now.
Yeah,
So
that's hurtful. That's hurtful.
I'm gonna go ahead and
I gotta
pretend
say
I did
anything.
not see that. So,
Yeah, that is hurtful. I can't say shit either. We lost to the Seacocks on, last second. Fuck my defense, but so I definitely understand. Like I say nothing either.
all I gotta say about that team up north is,
brother.
It's okay.
I don't like it.
Hopefully we can get him this weekend. We can do a little revenge for you this weekend.
Oh
Fuck
man,
the Packers. Fuck the Packers.
I agree with that. I 1000% agree with that. So, but anyways, I can go on forever about saying fuck the Packers, but let's go ahead and move on. Let's talk about the bye weeks here coming up. We're going on to week 12. So this past week we had the Cardinals, the Panthers, the Bucks, and the Giants on a bye. Week 12 we have a lot of teams on a bye here: the Falcons, the Bills, the Bengals, Jaguars, Saints, and the Jets. So,
That's a
and the
brutal week 12. That is a brutal
yeah.
week 12. Good
So,
God.
and like I said, we're getting towards the nitty gritty there to where you need your whole squad kind of like firing on all cylinders. So hopefully the injury bug is not kicking your ass. And then on top of you have,
Yeah,
a
that's
lot of teams on a bye. So
especially right now because a lot of people have fucking like people that you want to pick up, they're on their bench just chilling somewhere. You know what I mean?
right.
So like, and they're looking, and then like our league, like we already got past the trade deadline, so you can't even get a trade from someone anymore. So you just gotta hope someone just hits the wrong button and drops somebody. You could pick them up.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of which, one of those surprise drops that happened in our league, and I was thankfully able to snag him up, was Sam Laporta got dropped in our league. and it was one of those where I guess the guy that drafted him got tired of waiting for him to produce. Of course, it didn't help that he didn't show up, and he was one of the guys that was out this past Sunday. Yeah,
I mean, he's still on my squad somewhere buried, but I mean, he's definitely a disappointment. He's been one of the bigger disappointments of the year when it comes to fantasy, especially having a breakout rookie year that he had last year, and he hasn't done shit this year. Like, he's definitely someone I thought I was going to piggyback up my tight end, have a nice flex, do some things, at least score me like 15 to 20 points every once in a while, have a no blowout game, but yep, that did not happen. So he's been someone that has actually killed the keeper league for me. That and McCaffrey being out all fucking year too was definitely something that helped me out. But if I could sneak into that 8th or 7th seed, maybe we could make a little run.
Yeah, and that's there's no doubt that he has been a disappointment for sure. But it's one of those things that offense is such a high scoring offense. They're dropping 50 points, Detroit, that is. It seems like on the weekly basis now. So you want any piece of that offense that you can. So, I mean, and I get Laporta hasn't really been utilized at all this much this season, but that could change like any week now. He's due to have some good games because he is a threat. He does have that ability to do that. So it's one of those things to where I'm hoping, me picking him up, obviously, that he does start getting more involved in the offense to where if nothing else, he could be a flex play, going down the stretch. So
I kind of feel like Williamson's kind of take his flex play ability away. As long as Williamson's in the game, like the Porter for whatever reason has been schemed out, and then now like the Lions have really just went to a 2 running back, team. Yeah. They just kind of do just play like just possession ball with Amon-Ra and just let him kind of run around and catch whatever, and then just get into the somewhere close to the goal line and just let Montgomery or Jabril Gibbs just go get a touchdown. So, I mean, you would have hoped that Laporta would actually do something as a big tight end around the goal line, but right now, Montgomery and Jabril Gibbs are just eating when it gets close to the 5. Like, they're just – it doesn't matter who they are. That offensive lineman is just killing everybody, and they're just scoring touchdowns at will.
Gibbs isn't called Sonic the Hedgehog for no reason. So, I mean, he's a speedy back. So, I mean, you give him a little bit of space, and next thing you know, he's a blue blur going right by your ass. So,
yes.
But let's go ahead and get into some of the major injuries that happened this week. First one coming up here, Ladd McConkey. He was having a decent rookie season there. Looks like he's out with the shoulder injury for a few weeks. His expected return week would be week 14. So with Ladd being out, I think Quentin Johnson is definitely going to get a bit more attention. He caught another touchdown pass, I believe, this past week as well against Cincinnati. That was a good Sunday night game. This is a shootout game.
Yeah, I mean, he's been a surprise. He's definitely been a fantasy surprise. He showed up for a few games with multiple touchdown games that everybody was waiting for that guy to actually show up on a football field, and he's definitely been a surprise. We didn't know who they were going to throw to anymore, but Keenan Allen and Mike Williams gone, but he's definitely been someone to show up and been on the radar.
He's been serviceable.
He definitely has been, because he's definitely been someone that's like that Herbert likes to throw touchdowns to. So.
Mm-hmm. He's been worthy of a flex play for sure, especially maybe not on a weekly basis, but every week there you would have to find the right matchups there to kind of slot him in. But if you can, the weeks that he hits pretty hard. He'll hit for 15, 18, maybe even 20 points and stuff. So, but then he, like I said, if he's off, usually it's maybe only he gets you 5 points or 7 points or so. So.
Definitely boomer bust. He's definitely the new Mike Williams on that team when it comes to either he's going to score 2 touchdowns and have 100 yards, or he's going to get 1 for 3 yards and not show up. But you're right, definitely when he hits fucking pretty hard.
Yeah. So another guy that's kind of a boomer bust this season as well, Darnell Mooney. We were talking about him throughout this fantasy season, the past shows, where he did pretty good and was one of the guys that we were kind of recommending to pick up if he was still on the waiver wire. So hamstring injury, those are always tricky to deal with. Guys, they tend to linger. Sometimes guys get over them, but then there's other times where, like I said, this is just depending on the player, where throughout the whole season he'll get that week 8 and he'll just be fickle in and out of the lineup, throughout the rest of the season. So hopefully that's not the case with Mooney here.
Yeah, he's definitely somebody you gotta check the injury report and keep an eye on, because if he can go, it's just Kirk Cousins it fucking blows my mind, because one day he looks great, like I'll throws for 304 touchdowns, and the next one he's throwing for 3 interceptions in a buck 10. So that offense is super hard to figure out. And Kyle Pitts got unlocked for a little while, and so did Drake London and Bijan Robinson. They were looking great, but man, they have so up and down games. It's really frustrating to even trust
So
anybody on that offense on a week-to-week basis.
what did you think of seeing the rookie Michael Penix come in? Kirk Cousins eventually did get benched.
I mean,
is it something
it's great to
stick with,
I
or
wouldn't-
was it just for this game?
Nah, I wouldn't put nothing into it, because at that point that game was so out of freaking hand. But it was 38-6 when Michael Penix got like somewhere around the 10-minute mark, I want to say, in the fourth quarter. And he had a couple good passes. He had a couple good throws and passes right there. But at that point, they're playing a prevent defense. They just want them to just stay on front. It's a bunch of soft defense. So he should look good at that time. At that time, Michael Penix should be 6 for 7 for a buck 20 and maybe a garbage touchdown to whoever's still out there. But I don't put too much into it. They paid too much money to Kirk Cousins. If anything, it's going to be like a Jordan Love type of thing. Only way Penix sees any kind of real time is if Kirk Cousins goes down with the injury. You know what I mean? Other than that, they're still fighting for a division, division title, and somewhere on the 3rd or 4th seed, in the playoffs. So there's no way Michael Penix sees any real time unless it's emergency, got thrown, thrusted into the action type of thing. But I mean, he has some good throws. I'm gonna say he didn't, but I mean that's against a defense that was no more trying.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, the defense was, like you said, for the most part prevent. So it's kind of hard to get a good gauge and read on the quarterback as far as how effective he truly is when the defense is really not. Like I said, the cornerbacks, the back half of it, are not engaged as much as they would be if the game was meaningful, So, but the next injury that I wanted to bring up as well, someone hasn't really been doing much all season. Raheem Mostert's out with the hip injury. It's still to be determined how serious it is. I'm not sure if you've heard any updates since then. I have not, but look into that as far as double check on that as far as how long he's going to be out for. But he's one that's where definitely he is not having the same type of season that he had last season. That 21 touchdown season is nowhere even close.
It's huge drop off. I drafted him just to kind of put him as a flex, maybe a third running back type of thing.
Yeah.
Hoping that even if he had a slight drop off to have 12 to 16, touchdowns. A-Chain definitely took over that role. But even without, Tua for most of the year, that offense just took a huge dip. But Jalen Wright's pretty much taken over that backup role. I mean, he's just more serviceable coming out of the backfield, can do more things. At this point, the last time I seen Mostert, he was having a good run and then he fumbled. And that was the last we seen him, and that was about 2.5, 3 weeks ago now. And since then, I don't see him getting his job back. And as an older running back, already 32, I mean, he's still a speedster and he still probably has some gas left, but I just don't see it happening on the Dolphins anymore.
Right. And like you said, the main thing is Devonta A-Chain has been looking really good. I mean, granted, he's been out a game or two with an injury here and there as well, but he's been more reliable than Mostert has for the most part and stuff. And that whole Lightning Thunder, where they played off each other last season, like I said, the cliff happens very fast for football players, and especially running backs. And it may have happened to Raheem there, unfortunately. So and I'm feeling the effects of it as well. He's a guy that I drafted in one of my other leagues. He was someone that we talked about as a dual running back, maybe not you and I, but guys in the last show, about possibly drafting both of these guys and having them have a two-headed juggernaut, because in that offense, the Miami offense is usually pretty high-powered. They scored a lot of points last year. If you're thinking if he gets even half of the production that he got last year, that's still going to be a decent NFL, fantasy season. And like I said, with that logic and that mindset, you would think that, like I said, that guy would be a good flex play. But unfortunately, the injury bugs hit him that well, not only him, but that whole team. And having Tua out completely changes the whole dynamic of the offense there. So once that happened, it's kind of
no one looked good. Jalen Waddle looked horrible. Freaking Tyreek Hill looked horrible. Like that's so something that I was kind of waiting to see when Tua came back, that how the offense would run again. And the only one that's really took off has pretty much been A-Chain. Like not even Tyreek Hill hasn't really found his way back either. And Waddle, there's an MIA for Jalen Waddle too, because he should be, if anything, Odell Beckham's actually taken over kind of like the number 2 duties on that offense. Yeah, he's got more love come the last few weeks, and like I said, Mustard had like the beginnings of a good first half, and then he fumbled about 2-3 games ago, and that's was the last I've seen of him since. Like he's just A-Chain's pretty much, if he gets the ball around the 20-yard line, he's been taken to the house like almost every single time. Like that guy is just finding the end zone every single time. So I mean, it's a point where who's more effective, and Mustard just hasn't been effective.
And that's the quickest way to find yourself on the bench is to drop the ball. So you doesn't matter how good you were doing up to that point. All of it goes away as soon as you fumble it, and then you lose the fumble too. I mean, it'd be one thing to fumble and recover. They're still pissed that you fumbled it, but to fumble it and lose it as well, it's just like, go hit the fucking bench, kid. So, or vet, I should say at that point.
Yeah, he's not a kid no more.
Yeah. So, all right, the other injuries that came up. This was a game time decision there with George Kittle. His hamstring, I guess, was acting up. So they're expecting him to be back and available the very next week, so week 12 here. So hopefully it's nothing too serious. But like I said, hamstrings are always tricky things to deal with. And they may keep him, an additional week just to make sure he doesn't pull it, any worse. It doesn't get any worse than what it is. So
I actually doubt that. They got Green Bay coming up. They got that right there. Even if they might not win a division, so that's like little playoff implications like a motherfucker when it comes to maybe if they even sneak in on the back end of something like that. So I guarantee you, George Kittle says if he can wrap it up and get a shot, he's going to go out there and try and make it happen. Even if he's just a decoy at this point. Like it needs to be all hands on deck. So I mean, that's a situation I'm playing a little more with my heart than my head. But when he's in there, he's definitely a huge red zone target, which is something the Niners struggle with throughout the whole year. So he's definitely one of Brock Purdy's favorite targets around the end zone. And that guy doesn't really need much love for most of the game, and he could just show up in the fourth quarter, catch 3 or 4 catches for 60 yards and a touchdown, and kind of make your day pretty quick.
Yeah. And he's one of those guys where it's like you could be 3 quarters into the game and he's not like he maybe only has 2 points for you or 3 points, and you're like, what the hell? And then, but before you know it, next thing you know, he finishes with 15 because, when it comes to the crunch time or big time decisions, he's one of the guys that Purdy looks for. When you got to have it type of touchdown, it's either him or Debo pretty much. And granted, Jennings has been coming on as of late, but that is definitely, guys, in the passing game, Kittles is one of the more reliable guys for Purdy. So,
yeah, because definitely right now that the Niners struggle when it comes to man defense. So you need those man busters, and Kittles and Jennings has been the man busters over the past few weeks. So Kittles just finds a way to get to the end zone too, like you said. Like might have 2 or 3 points, 5 points coming into that fourth quarter, and all of a sudden on a drive, he'll catch 3 or 4 passes for 50, 60 yards and a touchdown. And all of a sudden, like you said, I got 15, 16 points real quick.
Yeah, and I definitely experienced it personally to where I like playing against him and being in that moment where you're just like, okay, cool. He's having one of the, like he may finish with the shitty game, because every once in a while he does have those. And then next thing you know, like a drive happens with the 49ers and he's literally featured like gets like 80% of the targets or of that drive, and that leads them into a touchdown and stuff. So like I said, he's just one of those really dynamic players and stuff. So if he goes out or stays out, then that just brings more opportunity for Jennings, Debo, and McCaffrey, who's back and stuff. Like I said, Jennings definitely was one of the players that took advantage of Kittle being absent last week. So
yeah, he's definitely become wide receiver 1.
Going on to one of our other last guys here, Gabe Davis looks like he tore his meniscus, so he will be out for the rest of the season. Not that he was one of a major player or anything, but he was definitely one of those guys that was probably on someone's bench, someone that you were trying to be a boomer bust type of guy. He's always been a boomer bust type of receiver, even with Buffalo and stuff. So, but unfortunately, he's going to be all bust for the rest of this season.
that offense is all beat up. I mean, if anything, that just boosts even the Evan Ingram, owners. They gotta love that. They gotta hate it for Gabe Davis, but gotta love it for that, and also the Brian Thomas Jr. Owners. They gotta love that they can hopefully see a little bit more uptick in targets that way. You got to get Trevor Lawrence healthy. Can't do much with Mac Jones. Mac Jones is pretty much trash. So as long as he's the quarterback, that it's just difficult to trust anybody, even though the volume would be there. I mean, if that guy's going to throw for 112 yards and two interceptions or whatever the fuck he's going to throw for, because he's going to throw a few.
Yeah.
It's definitely difficult to trust any of those guys on that offense right now. But definitely, if we can get Trevor Lawrence back, that's a huge boost to an Evan Ingram or Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah, I agree. The offense does look way different with Mac Jones, or very high schoolish with Mac Jones in there. Yeah. Like I said, it's not like Sunshine was having a great year, but he knew how to command and run that offense better than Mac Jones is. But like I said, that whole team is looking really bad. I mean, just almost pretty much as bad as my team.
Doug Peterson. I will be surprised if Doug Peterson's on his way out. Yeah, I think he's on his way out. I mean, like Travis Etienne hasn't looked like Travis Etienne. Like, I think Bigsby had a nice run, but now he's hurt and hasn't really come back. Since Travis Etienne came off his disabled list, he really hasn't looked just the same himself of getting all the opportunities that he was getting. So I mean, that offense looks pretty bad, and they're looking like they're going to be somewhere in the top 5 or 6 when it comes to a draft pick, and maybe they can get somebody out there that can help out, Sunshine, or do something with that defense. But that team needs a lot of fucking help. So,
I mean, it all made sense. So we thought it was a perfect match there to see Trevor Lawrence from college get drafted to the Sunshine State there in Florida and going to Jacksonville. But it's going to be nothing but hurricanes from here on out over there for him.
Yeah, so. I mean, kudos to him. He got his ass paid. So, I mean, he got that second contract, but he's definitely one of those head scratchers.
Yeah. So, but all right. Well, those are all the major injuries for the most part. What do you call it? Let's go ahead and get into the Commish's highlights for Week 11. And so take a little break and enjoy these clips that I was able to get together. So cheers, y'all.
Does that impact us positively in the situation we're in the game?
Throw down and 1.
Carr complete. Valdez-Scantling across midfield. Inside the 30, the 20, down the sideline to the end zone.
Second down and 4. Blocked there by Zylstra. It's caught by Jamison Williams. There he goes. Foot race with Miller. Foot race with Savage. That is...
Put some speed on that one, and there goes Cooper Kupp to the house. Another strike.
Challenging for a defense to stop him. Play action on first down. As Winston throws to the end zone. It is
Second down and 10. Here's Swift. Got the great.
Damn!
Block outside. One man to beat. Swift. Foot race. Touchdown, Chicago.
field, so you know you can get in the yard with him. And Hill will pick up the first down. More. And a Saints touchdown.
Matlock, the fullback, in front of J.K. Dobbins. Runs left. Dobbins takes off. Dobbins inside the 10. Dobbins to the end zone. Tonight here in SoFi. 4th and 2. Burrow. Deep shot. Higgins is open. Got it.
Fakes left. Now taking off. Gonna run for it. He got it. And there he goes. Inside the 10, the 5. Oh, the play of the year.
I am all that is man.
One of the better pass rushers in the league going to work on third down.
Levis taking a shot.
He's got Westbrook Akine breaking free. And the Tennessee. Holy mackerel. That is football.
Touchdown. There we
Hey,
go.
you know what? I gotta love that Taysom Hill, highlights and other stuff like that didn't get on there because he scored 41 big ass points off a fucking waiver wire fucking pickup. So I don't know.
It helped absolutely nobody.
He's just like a fucking whooped freaking Jaden McKay's ass just so he knows. I love it.
I like that you showcase and talk about all the teams. Yeah, well, thank you very much for the comment there. We do like to go ahead and, show love. Being a fantasy football show, we do need to talk about all the teams, even that team up north called Team Waste Management, a.k.a. Green Bay Packers. But thank you guys, like I said, for tuning in. Thank you to our sponsors as well, Fantasy Jocks. Thank you. Where are they at? Right there, somewhere over in that direction. Fantasy Jocks, thank you over there for sponsoring us. You guys need your championship rings. There you go. Mouth's got it. You need your championship rings. You have championship belts. Next year, when it comes to the draft, if you do what we do, we get the whole squad together. Bring it in, get together, party, drink, draft our players. They have fantasy football boards there that you can pick from as well. So
somebody wears a punk ass pink jersey. Wear that pink jersey.
You can get stuff for the losers as well.
Yeah, cluck, you fucking suck.
So please hit up Fantasy Jocks for all your fantasy football needs. No matter what sport, they will get you taken care of. And then thank you to Moore's Beers for sponsoring us as well. In the Zone and Visions and Hughes Nightclub. Thank you all. We really do appreciate it, and we appreciate you guys, the customers, the viewers. So, all right. So last time that I was on, I can't say last week, but last time I was on, I was going through, now that we're more or less halfway through the season, talking about the top 10 in every position there. I was able to get through the top 10 fantasy QBs, I should say, and then the running backs as well. Saw some names on there that we expected to see, but we also saw some names on there that we did not expect to see. Some guys that nobody even drafted, or if they did draft, they drafted them maybe thinking, hey, this would be a good backup. And finding himself at the top of the list of one of the better players. Same thing with running back there. It wasn't all your usual suspects, guys like Christian McCaffrey because of injuries. Yes, we know. But guys that were taken extremely high just have not been a major disappointment. Obviously, guys like yourself and other fantasy owners that have McCaffrey, they're hoping that back half of the season is where he's really going to come on, and that's where it really matters most is the back half.
I need that championship run. I need that championship run.
Yes.
I need you fuckers to keep losing in front of me so I can stick my ass in there. So I can run him to freaking to the ground.
No, I don't think that.
Hell no, to the no, hell to the no.
Take your Cedric ass somewhere else. Get the fuck out of here.
Hell no. So, like I said, I ain't down with that at all. So I'm good. I'm good at being at the top and keeping you beneath me. So, but anyways,
motherfucker.
we got a few weeks to go. So, but let's go ahead and look at the other top receivers and even tight ends here. See who rounds out the top 10 list. And there's some familiar faces on there, and then there's also going to be some names on there that we did not expect. But granted, this list of names here that we're going to bring out are guys. It's a PPR league here that we're bringing up here. Most leagues are PPR league, so these points may not be exact to what you guys have in your league, but for the most part, we don't do anything crazy here. It's just not too many no bonus points in this league, just strictly, keep it nice and simple there. But number one guy on the list, who do you think is the number one fantasy receiver right now? If you had to guess.
The past few weeks, it's either be Jamar Chase or Amon Ra. Like, these guys have been fucking killing.
Ding, 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 ding. Get that man a beer. He has just won himself a free case of beer, not by me though, not from me. So, but someone will get you a case of beer. But you're right. Jamar Chase is the number one guy right now, 250 fantasy points. And then who's number two? The other guy you mentioned, St. Brown, with 192 fantasy points. So,
yeah. I watch games too, fucker. Guys.
Those are guys definitely that you expect to see there. They were drafted high, so no surprises there. And then to round the top three, Justin Jefferson, another guy that was drafted into the first or second round, so with 181 points. So
he needs to catch his shit together because I need some touchdowns from Jefferson. Addison needs to get the fuck out of the way. I'm tired of his shit. So. Addison
really has not been that effective. I mean, he's had some injuries, and I think
that's the problem. Is but he's just been catching touchdowns, and that's the problem. It's like I need him to stop catching touchdowns. I need those touchdowns to go to Jefferson because like the 15 or 16 points is great, but I need those 25 to 26 points when it comes down to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and that's guys that have Justin Jefferson. That's what they're expecting. I really don't think he's really had maybe one game kind of like in the 20s or whatnot, but he's not been even at 1,000 yards yet. He's at 912 yards, 5 touchdowns.
He's just been staying at like 6 to 8 catches with like maybe 90 to like 100 yards and with no touchdowns, and it's just fucking killing me because when your number wide receiver is not giving you that 20 plus weeks, it definitely got to lean on other people, and sometimes you scoring 120 and the other person scoring 135. You just give me everybody on your board is doing good, but there's no touchdowns on anything on your board. It's just something that it kills you. It kills your week because if you get 1 or 2 touchdowns throughout that running back or that wide receiver, or that tight end, or even if you get a couple good ones from your quarterback, it changes that 125 score to 165, 170 real quick.
Yeah,
so I need Jet to go out there. And get some goddamn touchdowns. That's what's killing me.
Well, Addison was a little dinged up the last game, so he may not make it to this Sunday versus the Bears. So we'll see, and I would be okay with that. So one less weapon for the Bears to have to deal with. So
I'm okay with that. So then you can go for a Jamar Chase game and go for like 250 with 3 touchdowns. I'll be okay with that too.
See, I like that. We're finally on the same page. We're finally somewhere where we can cheer for the same thing. That's good. I like that. So number 4 on this list, Garrett Wilson. So even though Aaron has not been necessarily like the best right now,
That's
but
surprising as fuck. I did not expect that guy to be that.
You done messed up, Aaron.
he did.
He has. He really has. Like, I think Aaron's about to fucking wash the fuck up. So the fact that Garrett Wilson's even anywhere in the top 10, I'm seriously surprised. I mean, before Devontae Adams got there, he was getting like 20 targets like a game. So I mean, that I guess it doesn't surprise me, but you know, the production to even be that far up is pretty surprising.
I agree. So right now he's sitting at 173 points. It'll be interesting to see if he stays within the top 10 by the time this fantasy football season ends. Number 5 there is Drake London. And of course, we're talking about Kirk Cousins. He had definitely his streak there where he was looking like the old Kirk Cousins, and London was eating very well there. So he is at 168. And then CD Lamb is at 6. He's playing tonight, so he might jump up further in this board here by the time that
he got Cooper Rush. He got Cooper Rush throwing to him. He'd be better if he threw to himself. He'd be better. That's probably the only way he gets anything going for the rest of the year.
Oh.
CD Lamb was already having a rough year, and it just got rougher. I mean, it was already bad enough when he had fucking Dak Prescott throwing to him, and now he got Cooper Rush. I mean, don't get me wrong. They might. I mean, they're losing right now, so they might just start chucking the fucking ball around, and he's not one of those guys going to get like 20, 25 fucking targets because they got no one else on that team. So
it could be worse.
Pure volume.
He could have
pure volume.
He could have Trey Lance throwing him the ball. That would be worse, right?
Well, he did have Trey Lance throwing him last week the ball, so it did get worse. So
that's what I'm saying. Cooper Rush isn't that bad then.
I'm just saying, Cooper Rush had 45 fucking yards last week, okay? and I think 30 even went to CD Lamb. So I'm just saying, like, unless he fucking throws himself the fucking ball, CD Lamb, people. I'm sorry, try to trade his ass if you can. Maybe someone's asleep. Maybe you get someone like Caroline, who's like become a fucking bye week. And she just says, "Fuck it, I'll take whatever trash you have. I'll give you somebody like Nico Collins or something."
Right. Maybe. So if you can find someone that desperate, let us know. We'd love to have him in our league. So next, Scary Terry is at 7 there. He's obviously
I'm actually surprised he's that far down.
Favorite target.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's not higher. They were on quite a good run there for a few weeks. I know I fucking lost him a few fucking weeks because there's assholes fucking hooking up too much. But
these 3 guys are all like within a few points of each other. Between CD Lamb, Scary Terry, and then Zay Flowers are literally within like points, a couple of points with each other. So Zay Flowers is having a decent season there. Number 8, not too much of a surprising name. Who would Scary Terry or Zay Flowers is the more surprising name in the top 10 right now? Who do you think? Zay Flowers?
I just think Zay Flowers only because of the offense. I mean, like I figured that they would just keep pounding the ball more and more, but he's another one who doesn't score touchdowns. He's another guy who's. I think that one game he had like 11 or 12 catches for like 100 something yards. He had like 100 something yards within like the first half and still had no touchdowns. So I think that's what kills him more than anything else, that he's not scoring more points because he's actually been getting a lot more love without. Mark Andrews disappeared for so many weeks during the year. He wasn't. I don't know what the hell. They just was getting schemed out because Isaiah Likely had that one good game at the beginning of the year, that week 1, and then he disappeared. So the offense
he fell back down to earth.
It has been like more than anything else is like Rashad Bateman's has been like stealing his touchdowns. Rashad Bateman's been the one who's actually taking the top off the defense and scoring those 40, 50-yard touchdowns. And Zay Flowers has been more of that possession guy over the middle. So it's actually surprising that he's probably that high up, considering the offense. Because, I mean, Jackson won the MVP last year, but he didn't throw for a lot of touchdowns or a lot of yards. He's just for whatever reason, they just like the way he looked last year, and he got an MVP.
Right. Yeah. I mean, well, he may be getting another MVP this season. He's having another really good year.
He might, yeah.
So, and then to round out the number 9 and 10, these are going to be surprising names that here, Darnell Mooney, I know really didn't get drafted in very many leagues at all. He's at number 9 with 149 points. He has 711 yards, 5 touchdowns for the year. And number 10, I think is surprising and neck and neck with this guy, number 11. But number 10 is Jackson Smith-Njigba.
Actually, I could see that one because DK has been in and out of the lineup, and he's kind of taken over Tyler Lockett's possession game over the middle. He's been definitely someone who's moved to the outside and kind of moved around and kind of took over that slot position as well. And I mean, I just seen him play, so I could definitely see that. I mean, Darnell Mooney, I think he had that really 3-game run where he had 100 something with a bunch of catches and 2 or 3 touchdowns where he had a 40, 50-point game. So I kind of see Foles go more with Darnell Mooney. I think he kind of just had a few weeks where he blew the fuck up and snuck his way into the top 10. But I can definitely see Jackson Smith-Njigba being somewhere in there. I mean, he doesn't throw for many yards anymore. Well, he doesn't really throw.
Lockett?
Gino doesn't really throw for her 300-400 yards like he used to. At least he hasn't this year. I mean, he hasn't had really huge games. But he's definitely become a favorite target of his. And he finds him quite often. Like I said, I seen it this last weekend. So,
yeah, no, a few weeks back, Njigba had a really good game. I think in one of our leagues, he was at 40 points or something like that. He had 2 touchdowns. So a lot of that came from that big game. But throughout the season, he'll get you anywhere from 5 points to 15 points. So.
He's been a little more consistent than Darnell Mooney, so I can definitely see him in the top 10. I didn't expect Darnell Mooney to be up there, but I definitely seen. It seems Drake Laney being a little higher up there, but I mean that offense has been feast or famine.
Well, like I said, then you're definitely going to have some of those weeks then where it just evens itself out, having that. So, but guys, names like DK Metcalf, Cooper Kupp, Marvin Harrison Jr., Tyreek Hill. All guys that were drafted, within the first 3 rounds and whatnot. So still in the top 25 of fantasy, but they were all expected to be in the top 10, still within range to finish within the top 10 of fantasy football there. But
Tyreek Hill owners are definitely hurting. Like Marvin Harrison, I thought he was going to be a lot higher up. I thought they would throw a lot more, kind of feature him more. But Trey McBride has actually been someone that they've been kind of focusing more upon. So that offense has kind of actually been spread out pretty evenly.
It has. So Kyler Murray's been playing pretty decent football so far. So I said, McBride. McBride, I know you don't want to show him any love at all, but yeah, you're right. McBride is also one that he had a slow start to the season, but has been definitely picked up around week 3, week 4, and has been more featured in that.
Yeah. I mean, I did draft him too, so I can't, hate totally on the Cardinals offense, but I mean, but it's a double-edged sword. I need McBride to go for. I need McBride to have that 100 yards and 2 touchdowns and still lose by 4. So whatever.
So, well, speaking of tight ends, let's go ahead and jump to tight ends. Those are our top 10 fantasy receivers so far throughout the season. Only have a few minutes left in the show, so let's go ahead and look at the tight ends at the top 10. And you want to take a crack on who is the top 10 tight end, our number 1 tight end in fantasy right now. I'm sure it's a pretty easy guess.
I mean, lately it's got to be Travis Kelce. That fucker came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, they open up the crypt for his ass.
Not quite. He's made a resurgent. He made a resurgent, but I'm sure once I tell you here, Brock Bowers is the number 1 fantasy tight end, and rookie Brock Bowers.
Yeah,
too.
he's not surprising, but surprising considering they don't really have much on that side of the ball in offense. And you let go Devontae Adams, and other than that, maybe Jacoby Myers is probably the only other decent wide
It's just the
receiver.
Brock show. That's all they're doing in Vegas. It's time to Brock and roll, baby. That's all they're doing over there in Vegas is rocking and rolling. So, but yeah, he doesn't got that many touchdowns. He only has 3 touchdowns for the season, but 70 catches for 700 yards. So I mean, he's just getting a shit ton of targets, catching damn near everything that comes his way. So that's what's kind of elevating him to the number 1 fantasy tight end at 158 points.
Wow. Well, that was definitely a surprise. Definitely
Number
surprise.
2,
I know he was doing good, but damn.
A guy that you're familiar with, we were just talking about him earlier. George Kittles is the 2nd fantasy tight end right now. So he's at 141. So
well, that's the people's tight end. That's expected. That's the people's tight end. So some fucking respect.
Calm your tits. Calm your tits. I mean, the people's tight end is a little much.
That's what. Hey, you know what? When you go to WrestleMania and you kick fucking ass, you're the people's fucking tight end. Okay, shut the fuck up and show respect. Know your fucking role, bitch.
Gay.
This fucking guy.
Yeah, that's right.
Hold on. Where's Cole Komet on that fucking list? Okay, I just want to ask that real quick. So.
We'll look for him. He's somewhere down there. So anyway, number 3 is Travis Kelce. Like I said, he's can't come on as of late. Had a really slow start to the season. That Super Bowl hangover is real, folks. So he only has 2 touchdowns for the season.
Too many fucking concerts. Too many Taylor Swift concerts. You know what I mean? Then take your ass to work.
Yeah, that could be it too. That could be it. Allegedly.
But
he's at 124 in fantasy points, 62 catches, 500 yards. Hopefully he gets more touchdowns towards the end of the season if you have him. A surprising name. Here's the first surprise here that I'm not too many people drafted, if anybody. Cade Ott is the number 4 fantasy tight end.
You know what? Hey, I threw that name out there a few weeks ago. I threw that name out a few weeks ago about someone to watch out, especially when in the most fucked up way when everybody was still available. When Godwin was still available and Evans was still available, that guy was getting a lot of love from Baker Mayfield. So with everybody being gone, he has not slowed down, which I'm surprised because I'm pretty sure they had nothing on the outside. They would gotta just take away the middle of the field. But he's definitely been, a big surprise. If you picked him up early, he's been throwing some good shit for you.
Yes. So I agree. Too much Taylor Swift, not enough beard.
Yeah, I mean,
all the powers there. All the powers.
Looking like a fucking traffic cop out there. Like, I mean, you put your motorcycle away and get your ass out there and catch some footballs.
To me, I mean, that's the only reason I believe that Jake Paul was able to beat Iron Mike is because he had the beard still, So as soon as Jake Paul loses that beard, all his strength goes away.
I mean, I think once he starts paying the judges too, that probably helps a lot. Whatever, but that's different sport.
Yeah. I mean, that's boxing's been known for that to happen. So I mean, that's not too surprising.
Bro, when you pick your own judges to score the fight, and you pick your own referee, you're gonna win most fucking fights. I mean, and if you're fighting 60-year-old men, you're gonna win most fucking fights.
Yeah, you can't pad the card any better for you, or kind of pad that victory for yourself more than what he did there. So
I mean, that's like right now, me and you out there trying to go tackle fucking Josh Allen. We're gonna lose most times. I mean, he's gonna push us and fucking run those fuckers over. Like I mean, go fight a fucking real boxer and then come talk to me after that shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Go back to YouTube, bitch. Go back to YouTube, bitch.
So, anyways, we'll move on here. The number 5 fantasy tight end, Trey McBride. He doesn't have any touchdown catches for the season, so
he has a running touchdown. Yeah, he has a running touchdown. That's right. That's all. Yeah. He has a running touchdown and I think a throwing touchdown. I was like, that's what he's like. Hasn't caught shit, but he's thrown for one and he's run for one.
But he's one of those guys that people drafted. He's somewhat living up to expectations. Top 5 fantasy tight end. They can't really complain about that. So a guy that you can definitely complain about here is Kyle Pitts at number 6. It's just he's a boomer bust tight end. He's either going to have 1 point for you, or he's going to have like 12 points for you. So.
And what's crazy is like that's even been just this year, because for the past few years he's just been bust or bust. So I mean, he's actually just showing them the fuck up this last second half of the season too, because the first half he still didn't know there's an APB on his fucking ass. That guy couldn't do shit. So I mean, he's another one of a few weeks where Kirk Cousins caught fire throwing for 500 yards and doing things like that. So I'm pretty sure that's where those numbers will come from, because he's someone you can't, like anybody in the offense, you really can't depend on him right now. It's super hard to plug them in and think that they're gonna this guy's gonna give me 20 points. I
agree for sure. Like I said, every time you're having to start Kyle Pitts, you're holding your breath. So, and it's not because, stinky ass Pitts. It's just you don't know what kind of game you're going to get out of him. So, but to round up the other ones here, we got Hunter Henry as the 7th fantasy tight end here. He only has 1 touchdown catch, but almost 500 yards, 46 catches. Zach Ertz, another one there, number 8 on the list. Jonnu Smith, I think a lot of that came with this past game there.
Yeah, like 28 points this last week. He's actually shown the fuck up. He's someone, if you don't have him yet, you need to go pick his ass up, because for whatever reason, the offense is getting run through him a lot especially around the goal line. He's become a huge target for Tua. He's just become a favorite target of his. He's a big ass guy, run the target, run that goal line. So you definitely want someone like that who can go get those jump balls, or just go out there and just punk a defensive back. And for the past few weeks, he's definitely someone. If I didn't have Taysom Hill, I was going to pick him up, which I'm happy that I got Taysom Hill. But Smith still had like 28 points too. So he had 2 touchdowns, and it wasn't no slack. But he's definitely someone, if he's out there for whatever reason, you should go pick his ass up, because he's definitely, that offense is going to keep going around that goal line, and he's going to be someone they're looking for.
A lot of the teams are on a bye this week. We had 6 teams on a bye or something like that, something crazy. So he may be one of the guys to, if your tight end's on a bye, to go and get these 4 guys. Like all these guys are like either the same points or a point from each other.
You know what it was?
Henry,
it was
Zach
that
Ertz, and
it was that tight end day. It was that tight end day, and all the tight ends decided to fucking have one hell of a fucking game. Like the rest of the year, they didn't do shit. Like not one damn tight end could you really depend on for the whole fucking year, really, because you never knew what the hell they're gonna do. But on fucking tight end day, they all had one hell of a damn game.
They did. So I mean, if every day can be tight end day, then you guys will be all right. But unfortunately, that's not the case. Number 10 here, Mark fucking Andrews. 5 touchdowns, 379 yards, 32 catches.
That's all touchdowns. That's all touchdowns. That's just that's literally the last month that he's had a good couple good games with touchdowns. He hasn't done shit all year. You know what I mean? Between him and Likely, I'm surprised if they even get close to 700 yards for total for the year. But those touchdowns is what matter. Like I said, and make sure day go from 15 to 16 points to, depending on what kind of touchdown it is, go to 25 to 28 to 30 real quick with just a touchdown or 2. And it totally changes your day. Totally changes your day, and you piss off your opponent real fucking quick. You know what I mean? You catch a 50-yard bomb, you take it to the house, all of a sudden that's a 10-point score, and you're looking real good real quick.
Yeah, and if you're what we do in one of our leagues where you get bonus points, you hope for those days where all your guys fucking hit and you score, drop over 200 fantasy points, so you can get the weekly bonus point, bonus cash or whatever, in your league. If you, like I said, you have any rewards for weekly high scores There you go.
Yeah, I think I haven't looked yet, but I'm pretty sure I hit it this week. So,
Well, hopefully not. Hopefully not. So,
well, eat a bag of dicks. Eat the whole bag of dicks.
That's kind of gay, but hey, close.
Yeah, so's your producing fucker. Yes, yeah, way to go, way to hit the button, asshole.
I know. So one of the guys, some of the guys that did not make the list that were expected, Sam Porter was one of them. 25 catches for 366 yards, only one touchdown. So that'll explain why he's not there. Dalton Kincaid is another guy that he had a really good rookie year and really hasn't done much since then. He's having a really down year. And then Jake Ferguson is another guy that was expected to have a good season. No touchdown catches, 42 catches for only 358 yards. So those are all guys. And Cole Kmet as well. So
Dallas Carter, like some big name, tight ends that are used to productions really, just didn't have their normal years. I mean, there's still time, so I mean, you never know. But definitely some people that you think that would be there in offenses that put up points and do some things, especially on the goal line, that just haven't had their normal year. Tight ends have definitely been just it's been scarce this year. Definitely on the watch list.
They really have. I mean, and that's always such a fickle position. Like you never can tell who's going to just come out of nowhere and be this tight end. That
well, I mean,
Cinderella tight end.
Tucker Kraft was someone when Musgrave went down. He had a good 4 or 5 weeks where he just went off. You know what I mean? And and he fell off a cliff. And he fell off a cliff. You know what I mean? I mean, the Packers do have quite a bit of people to pass the ball to, but he was definitely enjoying some love for a while. So, like you say, you never know what's going to happen. The guy came out of nowhere and then went right back to nowhere. So,
right. Or he can be someone like Trey McBride last year, where he kind of just showed up out of nowhere and he's still somewhat relevant. So, like I said, you never know. But what I do know is that's going to be a wrap for us tonight. Go ahead. Like I said, if you guys haven't already, please hit the thumbs up. Please hit the subscribe button. We are going to be back here next Monday as well to talk more fantasy football with you. Commish is going to put together his top 10 highlights like I just did that week. So hopefully you guys enjoyed those. If you did, gives you another reason to hit that thumbs up button if you have not already.
Hopefully next week's a couple of McCaffrey tickets to the fucking house against Green Bay. That would be great for everybody. Everybody would enjoy that.
I don't know if everybody will enjoy that. I know you'll.
Everybody would fucking enjoy that. Okay, I'm pretty sure me and you enjoy that, and that's everybody that matters.
All right. Well, that's debatable. And we'll talk about that more next week and stuff. If he does score, maybe he'll be a part of the highlights. But if he's not, then
next time you hear grown folks talking, shut the fuck up here.
Got something for you, asshole.
Yeah. Well, anyways, guys, thank you very much. Like I said, for tuning into the show, we really do appreciate everyone that commented. Andrea, thank you. Mom, thank you very much for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. Manuel, thank you as well for tuning in. And, of course, Janan at the end there for tuning in. Thank you. So we really do appreciate it.
A late bus.
Yeah, the Mouth from the Bay. Do you have any last recommendations, any last words for our viewers before we sign off?
Yeah, make sure you check who the fuck is in your lineup before you set it. That's a big thing. I love seeing people have a bunch of zeros and people IR in the lineup, but it sucks if it happens to you. So, double check your shit. Saturday night, Sunday mornings, wake your ass up. Just do a final check, because the last thing you want to do is get knocked out the playoffs because you're a fucking dumbass. Unless someone with a big ass zero in the middle of your fucking lineup.
Very true. Very so. So with that being said, remember, y'all, be good or be good at it. Peace.
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.
What up, asshole?